how's it going? I hope your week is going well. Oh, Alice is already moving. Okay, she bailed. She was sitting there perfectly fine for like 20 minutes. She's on top of the bookcase now. Okay, so today I am going to be reviewing, or at least regurgitating all of my thoughts. I don't have like a formal review like script or anything, but I wanted to talk about Ninth House. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo because, my god, this book was really cool. I finished it at like 2 in the morning after like, I needed this book to pull me out of like a reading slump, and it did. Haha, I can't do editing, but I have the book with me, so it's there prettily displayed. So Ninth House, it's basically about Alex Stern trying to find a new life for herself at this different version of Yale. She has all new classes, she has all new school books, she has all new roommates, and she's meeting all these new friends, including a person named Darlington and Dawes, and she can also see ghosts, and she has to protect the school and the other students from like weird arcane supernatural things. It's already awesome. So basically, main plot is that Alex Stern uncovers, she doesn't uncover, but she gets involved with the murder of another woman named Tara. And she wants to find out the reason behind Tara's death and everything because something definitely seems off to Alex. Some of the weird ghosties were giving her hints. Alex decides to get involved and she starts uncovering more of the plots around Tara's death. And throughout the story, there's also more revealed about the other character, Darlington, as well. And he's the other main character who, weirdly enough, we don't ever meet in person because all of his point of view chapters are flashbacks. Because there's another whole mystery going on in like the main timeline with Alex that Darlington is missing and they're trying to get him back. So that's the main plot of Ninth House, and the setting was what really drew me in because I didn't really know a whole lot about it, but I knew there was some supernatural elements within this story. Not a whole lot, and honestly I just thought the cover was really pretty. That's kind of the main reason why I picked it up. Come on, booktubers, you know you've done the same thing. In this world, the setting is basically a gothic Yale. It's basically a gothic university college. There's the main buildings are on these like magic nexus points, and each one has its own style of like really old Egyptian architecture, or some are just complete gothic cathedrals, which is gorgeous. That's my jam. And Alex's main job at this university is to make sure everyone stays safe with special like protective magics and spells to keep the dead at bay, because other people at this college know about magic as well. Not everyone does, and I'll get to that in a second. Every now and then at this college, certain rituals are held, and it's Alex and Darlington's jobs to kind of keep everything in check, keep everything safe. So magic exists, and the dead can kind of walk among us as greys, as they call it, and there's other supernatural creatures as well. There's a couple that are mentioned in this book. I won't give away for spoilery reasons, but they're all really awesome and scary, and some are really big. Now I absolutely do love the world building. I love how it's in like this average college campus, and I don't usually read like the urban fantasies. Sometimes I do, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm usually more drawn to like the medieval stuff. And I'm so glad I came across this one because the world building itself is so rich. It feels like a real university that I've kind of gone to. Obviously it wasn't. Mine didn't have supernatural classes, although there was one class. I did take one class about like just Greek funeral processions. That was really fun. There was another class about Roman magic too. That was fun. Not real magic, unfortunately, and there wasn't any dead walking around that I knew of, but it would have been cool. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic. And I will admit, in regards to the world building, I love the world building. It was good, it was like complex but simple at the same time. But I had assumed that magic was just normal, that everyone knew about magic, and that everyone had access to like certain spells or objects that could do things, that it was just normal within this world. It's not. And I didn't entirely realize that until partway through. Because another job of the society that Alex is a part of is keeping magic contained and safe, but also secret in that way from some people. It's like the average student body, it's just a regular college to them, like just going about Spanish class, and then there's an entire other student body that is all about the magic rituals and stuff. I wasn't exactly sure where the line was. I was just a little confused on that aspect, but it wasn't like a huge detail. It wasn't make or break or anything. It was just a small detail that I probably missed. So magic is not well known between everyone within this world, but it can be learned. And Alex definitely knew about magic the entire time because she's been able to see the dead since she was a child, but it was never really explained to her until later on. A very bad traumatic event happens in her life, and then she's kind of recruited into the university and then realizes that this is kind of normal. Not the experience she went through, not that, but just magic in general is kind of normal. That it's like regulated. And the other character, Darlington, he's a part of that sort of regulation process as well. He's teaching Alex initially how to go about the protective spells, keeping the dead at bay, all of that fun stuff. But then when he goes missing, Alex is on her own and they're trying to get her back, and that's a fun part of the plot. And I mentioned that as well already. But Darlington was a fun character to get to know through his flashbacks. You get to know a lot about this person and all of the dealings he went through with like his grandfather and his parents and just the house he lives at. And you understand why he really loves the town that he's in and this whole university setup. For Alex as well, for Alex as a character, she probably has to be one of my favorite female protagonists I've ever met. Characters, because she doesn't take shit from anyone. Alex has also been through a lot of harrowing experiences within her life. Some involving the dead, some not involving the dead. Some of it ties into the present day stuff going on within the story, and one thing that really impressed me with this book was the themes that it goes into of abuse and trauma and anger towards women and abuse towards women in general. I didn't know any of that was in this book. I was just here for a fun supernatural ride with a cool new character, and I completely fell in love with all of it because of those themings, because they're important conversations that people need to have. And it didn't just like force these ideas down your throat either. It just kind of like walked you through some of the contexts of like, here's something Alex has been through. It's not a good thing. This is how she's coping. It's also not a healthy thing, but she's still standing. I think that's one of the main things that really drew me to Alex. After everything she's been through, all of the trauma that she hasn't quite gotten over yet, with fair reason. It's hard to get over anything like she has been through. And yet she is still standing. Okay, so I've been careful with spoilers up until now because I want to do like a non-spoiler part and then like a spoilery part where I just kind of say things. Because I do have words about the plot. I didn't mind the plot. I really enjoyed all of the mystery interrogations Alex was doing to find out more about Tara's death and everything, and all of the mysteries around Darlington. But it was one thing I really did like. Before I get into the one aspect I wasn't the giant fan of, but I really liked how every now and then Leigh Bardugo was planting a small seed around the character Sandro. So throughout the entire story, Leigh Bardugo was kind of planting small seeds. I thought she was planting small seeds around this one character called Sando, who kind of reached out to both Darlington and Alex when they were both at their lowest points in life. That's when he recruited them into this like Leith program to help protect the university. And that spiked my interest of that main character, or of that side character. He was the dean of their society, of their like section of the university. He was like their boss. And it caught my attention because why is he reaching out to these people now when they're at their lowest point? He's been watching them, obviously. He knows about them. And he knows about magic. So I thought something was a little off about him. And I wasn't wrong, but it was different than what I expected, which I'm not mad about. What I am a little, not mad about, but something that kind of, it was a slight little irk moment. Once Alex confronts him about Tara's death, once Alex confronts him, he does kind of start monologuing and just answering the questions that she's asking. Like, he really doesn't have to do that. If he's a bad guy, you don't have to start monologuing. And I know I'm using that term from The Incredibles, but that's what bad guys do sometimes. They just monologue, and they kind of give away their plan. They give away their secrets. And he was doing that for no No reason, really. I think he was mostly impressed that she figured it out. And it was completely different than what I was assuming, because he was tied into a lot more stuff than what I thought, and I was glad. But there was another twist I didn't see coming, which I'm not mad about, but I'm also like, wait, what, really? Because it really came out of left field. Basically, during all of the main plots that I mentioned, there's a dead character known as the bridegroom, whose real name is North. North is his last name anyway. And he was accused of killing his fiancée and then himself. He's willingly helping Alex throughout the investigations of Tara's death to help clear his name and help find out what happened to his fiancée. And then it turns out his fiancée was the bad guy the entire time, because she has similar powers to Alex, and when she died, her name is Daisy, by the way, she figured out how to jump bodies. And she's been doing that for a couple of 100 years. It was cool, and the final battle is cool. Like, I'm not mad at it. I was just a little confused because it doesn't feel like the right seeds were planted. Like, there were a few seeds leading me to Sandro. There wasn't any seeds leading me to Daisy. It's really not a big deal. There might have been another seed that I might have missed. Or maybe some foreshadowing that I missed. No big deal. I just felt like the whole, like, Daisy plot line kind of, I don't want to say it came out of nowhere, because it kind of didn't, but I was still sitting there going, oh, okay, cool, but okay. So basically, the main end plot with Daisy and North, I wasn't mad at it. I understood it, but I felt like there could have been a few more seeds. Maybe not like pointing to Daisy, but few more seeds kind of leading in that direction. Because at the time while it was happening, I'm like, one, this was a really cool final battle with like a bunch of dead people. But two, it felt a little too, I don't want to say out of nowhere, because there was the whole lead up of like North trying to find his fiancée Daisy. But there wasn't really much of a lead up of Daisy herself being the bad guy. I don't know, it was probably just a fun twist that I had missed. So yeah, that's basically my little like ranty review words of Ninth House, which I absolutely love. This is definitely up in my like top 5 books, just in general. It's dark fantasy, it's got gothic elements, it's got so many dead elements that I love, with an amazing badass female protagonist and another male fun protagonist, where I want to learn more about Darlington. I'm curious about Darlington because he seems fun. And this book actually pulled me out of a reading slump. I've been reading slowly lately, which isn't like new for me. But when I had like the last 100 pages of this story, I read it all in like 3 hours, but then I realized it was like 2 in the morning and I had to go to bed. So yes, I really enjoyed this book. This is definitely probably up in the top 5 of just my favorites. And I'm hoping there's more. I don't know if there's gonna be more though. I have no idea. But I'm probably gonna look up more of her books because I know she's written a few YA things. I'll pick those up too at some point. I can read those. So yeah, let me know if you've read this book. Let me know your thoughts on it because I really enjoyed it. If you didn't like it, that's fine. What's another book of hers that you would recommend actually? So yeah, feel free to do all of the subscribing and liking things for like the YouTube algorithm. It really does help me out. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.